What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/am I the antagonist? This story's called, Am I the apple for yelling at my brother? Throw away for privacy reasons. Apologies in advance for any spelling and grammatical errors. I, 25 degrees Fahrenheit, have been with my boyfriend, 30 degrees mumbo, for 8 months. 25 female, 30 male. Okay, sorry. I have a 9-year-old son. Yes, I know it sounds bad. I still get a lot of crap for it. Wait a minute. Hey, as long as you're both okay now, that's all that matters. I divorced my ex-husband last year, and I've happily moved on. Heyo! Fast forward in the new year of 2020. I met my boyfriend, and he's been everything a girl could ever ask for. He's sweet, attentive to my wants and needs, and is an amazing father figure to my son. I introduced him to my family, and while they've initially had their reservations, they gradually accepted him with open arms. I'm the youngest of 4, with 3 older brothers, 36, 34, and 31, and I'm the only girl. Ew. Unfortunately, we hit a rough patch 4 months ago. I found out I was pregnant, but suffered a miscarriage. I'll admit I was an emotional wreck and utterly depressed. We grieved together, went through online therapy, and we managed to cope. A boyfriend has been my rock every step of the way and took on more responsibilities at home to lessen the burden. He even bought me a promise ring and told me he loved me and would never leave me despite my faults. Last month, my boyfriend was diagnosed with depression and has been seeing a therapist. He's been feeling emotionally drained. Since then, I've limited the number of chores he does, ask him to do yoga with me along with other family activities with my son, and remind him to take his meds on time. He grumbles a bit but complies. I love my boyfriend and I do see myself having a future with him. I just want him to feel better. Here's where the conflict began. With restrictions slowly easing, my parents and brothers started visiting us. After a long, exhausting day of cleaning the house and doing the laundry, I was in the kitchen cooking dinner. Everything was going great until my 3rd older brother made a remark to my boyfriend at how I do more chores than he did and said aloud whether I was a personal maid and boyfriend should contribute more, as it's not fair for a single mom to do everything around the house while a man lazes about like a deadbeat ex. I yelled at my brother that my boyfriend does not laze about, and if he really did compare him to my ex, then he was being horrible. He said he didn't mean it. My son asked to be excused and left the dining room. Boyfriend followed suit. I told my brother if he wasn't going to apologize, then he should leave. He eventually did. Leave or apologize. I called my mom that I was going to limit contact with my brother. Boyfriend did tell me that while he did appreciate me standing up for him, he said I should have at least told him why first. Now I felt bad because I shouldn't have cut the visit short and might have caused a rift in my family. I don't know what to do. My parents and brothers sided with me, but other relatives are divided. Oh, and a little FYI. I'm British, boyfriend is American. My family moved to the US when I was 12. Ah, he got one of them British honeys. You definitely shouldn't have. Yeah, okay. You did not do bad thing, okay? You did the good thing, you just did it the wrong way, I'd say. You know what I'm saying? Probably should have been chill, more understanding, more, you know. Because he was just trying to defend you, more or less, even if it was needed or not. He was still trying. You guys basically did the same thing. But, you know, he should have been understanding, and you should have been more explanatory. This story's called Up There for yelling at my brother. So a lot has happened over the past month, and let me tell you, I wasn't expecting what had happened afterwards. So I'll recap what followed. Turns out, my brother saw my Reddit post and called me asking to speak to him. Oh shoot. At first, I didn't want to, but he was still my older brother and agreed to at least hear him out. When I arrived at his apartment, he looked like an emotional wreck. back. He said he profusely apologized for the way he acted and has said he read some of the comments over and over and slowly came to realize he said it the wrong way. He only wanted what he thought was best and begged me not to go no contact before hugging me. He said he'd never meant to put me in a tricky situation and swore he never knew my boyfriend was depressed until he saw the original post. To me, it felt like the older brother I've known since I was a little girl had come back. In a rush, we embraced more and reconciled. Yes, my family is a tight-knit bunch. Mom, Dad, my other two brothers were pleased we managed to patch things up, which was a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. As for my boyfriend, he's been showing some improvement and promised to pick up the slack some more regarding household chores so I wouldn't be stuck dealing with it. My son still doesn't like to talk about that day, but I'm sure he'll grow past it. On Saturday, the 17th of October, that was the day my world changed. My boyfriend called me over to the nearest beach by sunset and surprised me with the most beautiful ring I've ever seen. He got down on one knee and the bloody fool literally proposed to me. I was not expecting that, but the setting was so perfect and I do love him dearly, so I said yes! We made it official in a Zoom call the following week and my family was over the moon, sending us congratulatory messages and wondering if and when the wedding preparations would begin. I invited all my brothers to help, to which they'd be more than happy to help with. All in all, I'd say we ended things on a good note. Me and my brother have reconciled, and my boyfriend is now my fiance. Thank you guys for your feedback and for helping us grow closer than we were before. I realize some of the things I've worded are being misconstrued. I'll add some clarity in the comments. I'm not reading the comments. We agreed to do a long-term engagement. Yeah, like a Pam and Roy. That's a bad example. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you guys are happy forever and ever and ever. I hope you guys have 44 babies and you name all of them. Why are you looking at me like you're expecting me to say something else? The kids have to have names, okay? They have to name all of them. All right, this one's called, Am I the Anus for Eating Takeout While My Stepdad Had a Heart Attack? Edit. So I don't have to keep making the same point. I waited outside with her. Okay, let me read that one after. Last night, I got off work late, so I ordered food. I'm staying with my mom and stepdad for a few months. I never knew him that well as I grew up with my biological dad from age 6 when my parents split. I visited my mom every other summer, and we've always been on friendly terms, but never super close until I moved to their city for work. I'm staying until I can find a place to rent for myself. Shortly before my takeout arrived, my stepdad collapsed. My mom called me for help, and of course, I helped. We called an ambulance and gave him first aid together until the paramedics took over. They got a pulse and transferred him to the ambulance. They lost the pulse in the ambulance and couldn't take him to the hospital until they got it back. The woman explained this to us before shutting the doors. Around this point, my takeout arrived. I paid and explained what was happening as the delivery guy was obviously kind of freaked out by the ambulance outside where he was dropping off food. I took the food inside and came back out to check on my mom. She was waiting outside the ambulance and wasn't allowed in while they were working on my stepdad. I stayed with her for about 5 minutes and then suggested we go wait inside as it was cold. She said no, she'd wait outside. I said to call me if she needed me and went inside. I had already ordered the food. It was there and getting cold. I hadn't eaten in hours, so I just decided to eat while I waited. Mom came inside and found me eating and told me it was selfish of me to be eating when a family member was dying. I stopped eating as it was clearly upsetting her. Stepdad is alive today. He had a heart attack, but his chances look good. I'm genuinely glad he's okay. That's good. This morning, Mom told me she can't believe how cold and callous I am, and she thinks I hate her and my stepdad and blame them for my parents' divorce. I don't hate either. I didn't think me eating takeout while we waited was a cold thing, but it seems to have really upset her. I don't care about the divorce anymore either. For context, the whole incident from calling the ambulance to the ambulance leaving took an hour and 15 minutes. Food arrived halfway through all this, and there was nothing I could have done to help. Okay, let's go read the edit. So I don't have to keep making the same point. I waited outside with her for 30 minutes. Food arrived. I took it inside and immediately went back outside. The adrenaline had worn off by then, and I noticed it was cold, so I asked if she wanted to go inside after 5 minutes. She said no. I then went inside after waiting with her 35 minutes total. There was nothing we could do but wait, and she had been standing away from me when we were waiting. I asked her a few times if she was okay or needed anything. She said no. She usually deals with stress by being alone and usually asks for some space. She is not upset I didn't continue to wait with her, and that is not what I'm asking about. She is upset that I was able to eat food whilst this was going on. I know her, and the hints I was getting from her body language was that I wasn't helping by hovering around her anyway. Whilst I'm happy my stepdad is alive and have no harsh feelings to him, I don't know him that well. I was concerned for him, but I don't know him well enough to truly panic. I saw him every other year for a few weeks of my life, and I've known him this time for a few months. Nice guy. Glad he's okay, but I can't force myself to love him like family. When I went inside, I was cold, tired from a 12-hour shift and performing CPR, and I hadn't eaten in a few hours. I was on autopilot as the adrenaline had worn off. Perhaps it was insensitive of me, but I thought I had done all I could at that point. Again, my mom is not upset I went inside. She's upset that I ate, as she thinks I don't care about my stepdad. I do care, but not to the extent she'd like. That is the issue, not whether I left her outside. I also did all I could in terms of CPR, talking to paramedics, and offering her my support verbally. Someone suggested I should have driven her to the hospital. We were waiting outside the ambulance, and I don't drive. I'm also 18 and here on an apprenticeship program, so there are limits to what I can offer to do for her practically. My apprenticeship involves manual work, which is doubly exhausting. Right now, we're on lockdown, so I'm the only one working in our household, and I think she forgets how tiring shift work is, as she hasn't done it for months. We're also in the UK, and I think Americans have some strange ideas about what you do in a crisis. She would have killed me if I'd start calling all her friends to come over mid-heart attack. We also deal with things in a bit more of a repressed way, so we don't do the whole sobbing and hugging things Americans seem to think should be going on. Word up, my friend. No, you're not a butthole here, my guy. Bro, I get in trouble for the same crap with my dad. Like, I laugh at things, man. I'm goofy. I laugh at crap. Anytime I can, I mess with him. Like, if he's getting mad at me for stupid crap, I'm like, I can't help it. I like goof off. Like, essentially our relationship is like very Uncle Phil and Will Smith. Not that I'm that amazing, because Will Smith is amazing. Love him. Him and Jack Black, they're like too much. Okay, anyway. Not that I'm that amazing, but it's pretty close. But my dad's just like Uncle Phil, but like without the redeeming qualities. Get burned. I love that. Difference is though, my dad gets mad at me when I do it, but it's just so fun. Like, I can't help. I physically cannot help myself. I have to mess with it. I get in trouble a lot for not taking serious things as seriously as everyone else. But I don't know. That's just how I am. I mean, obviously, if something sad happens, I'm gonna be sad, but you know, you didn't do nothing. This story's called, Am I the Butthole for Eating Takeout While My Stepdad Had a Heart Attack? Update. Thankfully, we were expecting my stepdad to make a full recovery. He was able to call me from the hospital. We've never really had a deep conversation or even a very long one, so it was a little awkward, but he thanked me for helping, and we've developed a mutual respect for each other. I'm genuinely glad he's okay, and he seems to appreciate what I did. It was a pretty emotional chat, and I'm glad we spoke. I started having some distressing dreams about the incident. Spoke with my doctor, who said it's normal as it was a traumatic thing to witness. Said I should go back if it doesn't improve, but thankfully it seems to be getting better in the last few days. I've cleared up the big debate over my mom. We talked a lot. She confirmed that she wasn't upset that I went inside. She actually wanted me to go away so she could be alone with her thoughts for a bit. She only came inside as she thought I was upset and trying to hide it by going inside. She said she realized she hadn't checked up on me throughout the wait and felt guilty when she realized. When she came inside and saw she'd read the situation wrong, she was just overwhelmed. She said in that moment, she felt a lot of guilt for not trying to foster a better relationship between me and my stepdad. It hit her that we really weren't that close, and she was upset at the thought it might be too late to fix that. When she feels guilty or in the wrong, she explained she tends to lash out as a defense mechanism, which is something I didn't really know about her, but it explains a lot. She also explained again that my stepdad had never wanted kids, but didn't have a problem with me. That's nice. He just felt awkward as they both assumed I resented them for essentially breaking up my family as I knew it. I've reassured my mom it doesn't matter to me and there is no resentment. Hopefully we can all be a bit less awkward with each other. At the end of the conversation, I asked her if she wanted a hug. She said, and I quote, "Don't be so soft." So I think I was right to not initiate a hug at the time. I acknowledge that I should have waited to eat now. I can see how it looked insensitive, but fortunately, no one is upset, and my stepdad found it funny when I mentioned it. He said he probably would have done the same, asked what I'd ordered. He said it was good scran, so I think no one is too upset. What is good scran? This incident has put things into perspective, and hopefully I can develop a better relationship with my stepdad when he's well enough. I think that would mean a lot to my mom, and he seems like a sound bloke. Sound bloke, I don't know. Also, going to work on better communication with my mom. Thanks to those who reassured me in the comments and privately, really helped me process things once the shock started wearing off, and I appreciate you taking the time to do that. Aww, I love these updates, man. Updates are always so nice because they're updates and people are always closer because they always talk about things. But I'm just waiting for an update where just like crap hits the fan and like just everything's so bad. Not that I want people to be in a bad situation. Ideally, hopefully it's like made up or something so I can enjoy it without a guilty conscience. Anyway, good job, OP. You basically got the good ending. Congratulations. This story's called Am I the Butthole? For being furious about my good friend of 35 years asking out my 22-year-old son. Okay, it's more okay to me now. I just learned about this during a Thanksgiving Zoom call. My son and daughter, who already knew all about it, were laughing. I am not seeing the humor. Apparently, she got his number at a Christmas party last year and texted him asking him out several times. This is someone I trusted as one of my closest friends. I feel betrayed. She's more than twice his age. I know people will think I'm being unreasonable, and that's fine. I've composed an email to this friend. I haven't hit send. Am I the antagonist? Pump your brakes. Your son, he 22. Your friend, way older. Should she have talked to you first? Probably, because it is a little weird. Because, she knew this dude since he was born, I'm assuming. So it is kind of weird. However, they are both adults. So that's when you should be like, hey, okay, I just found out about what's going on, and give her a chance to come clean and talk to you about it, and you guys can, understand each other. All right? Mama gotta have fun too, you know what I'm saying? But coming from a dude who's got potentially concerning preferences in women. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.